All right, here we are again. Another tournament, Winter Slopes tournament, and today's Monday's qualifying round. So we always like to practice on Mondays and get a little bit of time in. These holes came out. They announced the tournaments on Wednesday. If you go in, like before anybody puts anything out on Wednesday, you can go into Golf Clash and go into your settings and go to Help and go to Tournaments. And they'll announce that, like here it says Winter Slopes Tournament. Next, they'll have the off week, and then on Wednesday in the off week, they'll have whatever the next tournament is, and they'll have some basic information on it so you can see what the deal is. And usually on Thursday, you'll start getting stuff from Tommy and Zachary Jones and those guys, because they've got a huge video inventory, so they can pull it together to make the holes. I unfortunately don't, so, and I try and film a little bit during the week. I need to actually film some gameplay, but we are on the Winter Links tournament, and we are in the, and during the practice time from last Wednesday, I think I got like one of these holes, and I got it like 12 times. And so they've been really stingy on giving us the holes that are in Tour 5, and the holes that are on Tour 8 we're not getting from the first tee, so it's not any good to go up to Tour 8 to practice those holes, because you're, other than just being familiar with the hole, so we haven't got a lot of practice time. So I'm on hole number 2, so let's talk about what happened on hole number 1. What happened on hole number 1 is that I have notes, and it's kind of like reading a compass. Sometimes you'll look around and you'll say that's north, and then you look at the compass, and the compass is telling you the exact opposite, and you go, hey man, I know what I'm looking at, and that's north, and you start walking the direction you think is north. The compasses don't lie. You're going the wrong way. And I did not follow my own, and I don't know what I was thinking, and I ended up like way up at the top, on the top of the hill. So I switched over and I played my practice account so that everybody could see a full round. So now I'm going to play the rest of this round. So we'll just have to hope that if we get hole number 1 in one of the shootouts, then we're going to stop and we'll play that hole so that we can see what it looks like. So I'll have to edit it out and put it at the front. So here we go. We're on hole number 2. Let's go to Golf Clash Notebook and take a look at this hole. Hole number 2. All right. There's 3 ways to play it. If you watch the practice round I had earlier, I played from out here, and I think my opponent played from over here. So you got to kind of a look at this shot. And this is kind of a personal preference shot. You have 3 ways you can come at it. You can come at it from here and trying to bring it in. You can do our... Say that again? Sure. You can do a pure rough bump and go right at the boot. Or you can do the bounce over here. And, I like this shot up here. I like doing the rough bump, and I always tell myself, next time I get on this hole, I'm going to do that rough bump. But I don't have as much control of it in the rough bump when you're doing right here as I do over here, but I normally don't like to put traps in play. So what I really think I need to do is buckle down and really dial this shot in, because there's a lot of things I like about this shot up here. There's a wind adjustment that we have to make on this hole. There's a 10% wind adjustment, and over here it can be very tricky, and you have to use a 0 power ball in order to hit this area. So if you're using a 0 power ball, unless you're using one of the wind balls like a Santa ball or these balls that they're selling right now, it's hard to stay in that area and have enough maneuverability to adjust out the wind. So if you use a lower wind ball, you'll be able to adjust that out. And I've been successful back here, but I really want to perfect this shot right here, because this is a great shot to have in your bag. Because you may be in a situation, especially in one-on-one, where you know, if you know how to do this shot and you can't do it because of the wind direction, you can always come up front. Alright, sorry about that. My wife brought me something to eat. So, I don't like this shot over here at all. But sometimes if you're playing a one-on-one, you know, you're going to be able to do this shot right here. And sometimes when you're a one-on-one, you can't do this shot because of the wind, but you could do that same, you could do it from up here. I'm going to learn how to do this shot up here. So we're in a practice round. So what better time to do it? So that's what that's how we're going to play this. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring an extra mile. Extra mile. And that should be the only club that we need. And I'm not sure if we're going to hit up in the front, we're going to need a bigger ball because of the way the red line is. So I'm going to start off with a katana because I think the wind is blowing favorable for us. And we can drop down to a quasar because I don't think we're going to have to go any bigger than a katana. We might. We don't need a lot of curl and stuff on this, so it's more the 2 power. If we need a more powerful ball, we can go to the Titan. And it'll depend on the wind. I think the wind is blowing with us, so we might use the Kingmaker just to drop the wind down, but I don't think we'll have to go that high. Alright, hole number 2. We're definitely not trying to qualify after blowing the first hole. Okay, so there's our red line. We're right there with the wind that we have. This is good. So we want to wedge. Sometimes with the colors it's hard to see. We want to get that so that it's right in the center of that area. We're going to do a 3-7, so that's about 4. So we're going to do 2 rings. And try and hit it perfect. Alright, our first shot of the day is perfect. Let's see if that worked. That's pretty close. But it was about 1,000 miles away. It was going so fast. If it would have blown over the hole. If it would have actually been right at the flag, it would have bounced off the flag as fast as it was going. But so on that shot, we did. So let's make some notes here. I did about 1 top spin, and we went with a katana, and the katana was perfect. We did 1 top spin. And I'll have to go back and watch the video and see what kind of side spin, or if there was any. It seemed like there was a little bit of side spin, and it had to have been to the right. But there wasn't a lot. You can try and get it so that it goes all the way up there, but you take the risk when you do that of ending up in that sand. And I would rather be on the green and low or over there than to really try and force the issue and end up in that sand and have to take that sand shot for my eagle. I can't remember if this is a putt or a pitch. Let's hope it's a pitch, because I don't really like long putts. I'm not a fan. You never want to try and get better at long putts, like, you know, go to some of the lower tours and try and practice some of those longer putts just so you can get the feel for it. The whole goal is to never be that far away. This is the difficult thing about tournaments where you can have low scores. You have to practice shots like that. So like, I don't mind missing putts, but when you're in those types of situations, it's always good. You know, those are great. You're already there. It's a great time to practice those shots. You don't want to end up in those areas during regular play, but if you do, you know, you're prepared for the common error. Oh wow, what luck. Hole number 1. Oh, we brought the wrong club. We brought an extra mile. And you can shoot over those trees like that, but man, you have got to hit it perfect. If you don't hit it perfect, well, it looks like it's a mile between them. If you don't hit it perfect, it's bad. But you'll end up pretty close if you can make it through there. It's pretty close. Nice shot. So that's one way to play this hole. So since we're doing hole 1 right here, I like to play it out here, but see, an extra mile doesn't lend itself to it. So we're going to pull it forward. That was part of the problem that we did before. And I'm going to put my blue ring right up against the top. Let's see what it looks like here. A little backspin on it. We're going to adjust it out. It's 2 rings, a little less. That's one way you can shoot it. And there's about 1 billion more. And the whole goal is to try and get as high up there like I am as you can, because you're trying to work the math, because most people will end up low on this hole. And you want to keep trying to work that deal, so you're trying to get up higher on it. So I had an extra mile earlier, and I was trying to do the shot that I would with the quarterback, where it was way in the back, and totally blew the shot. But if you're using an extra mile, that's an area to start right there, kind of that setup. But you can move it around, and you can move it back a little bit and not have to. There's so many different. That's why it's the racetrack. You know, it's one of those racetrack greens. But if you can get it up, the higher you can get it up, and the longer it takes before it rolls down on the green, what happens, if you look at the hole, is that hole's got moguls. That green's got moguls on it. So see all these little, this indentation right here, all these little blurs, and then there's one here. So if you can get your ball to come in higher than that shadow right there, right up there by where that shadow's at, when it rolls down, it has a nice trough all the way to the hole. Whereas if you get it over here, it wants to go down. It's hard to actually get a consistent spot out here where you can end up high, where you can end up coming in on that side of the flagpole, where if you're facing the flagpole, it's on the right. Alright, that was hole number 2 of the Winter Slopes tournament. It's in Monday's practice round. Thanks for watching.